The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Discretion is advised.
Are you putting the music in after the fact? We're not. Okay. Should we just start with that?
Yeah. Here we are.
I'm sitting. All right. So I'm sitting here waiting. Dan's like, okay, let's give it 15 seconds before we start talking so that, we can. His plan was to splice in the music, the intro music, but we've played it before.
We
correct?
have. Yeah, we have.
So I'm sitting here for like 45 minutes waiting for the music to kick in. Welcome to Rare Form Radio, Zoom style. Ugh.
Dude, the future is
Anyway.
here.
I know. The future sucks. There is no
Not great.
future. The future is, there's no future.
Mhm.
I look at my kids, I'm like, sucks for you. I had fucking fun when I was a kid.
Oh, man, life used to be so good.
I used to go out and do stuff and actually see people, talk to them, touch them,
Hug them, fuck them.
touch them.
Yeah.
Like this.
We used to be able
Even
to do that back in the day.
Yeah. You used to even be able to do that to women back in the day, and no
Mhm.
more.
No.
Even you can't even do that to your wife.
We're talking about
Right.
the tit grab hand motion that everyone knows.
Oh no, that's not what I was doing.
Oh,
But I guess
Oh.
that's what you think it is. Okay, Dan.
I thought that. Never mind.
I
How
was
embarrassing.
grabbing balls because one was higher and one was lower.
Right.
This is balls.
Which, if you women don't know, one ball hangs lower than the other.
That is true.
The left usually is lower.
It is on me, I think.
I know that my left ball is lower because your brother's right-handed.
Mine are still pretty even.
Yeah, they taste even.
They taste the same.
It tastes the same.
Once you hit my age, now I'm 50. Once you hit my age, I'm not one of those guys that's like, I don't want to talk about my age. I'm fucking 50. It's fine. I
Mhm.
look great. I
Yeah,
look
there you go.
great.
Yeah, you do.
When elasticity does start to happen as you get older in many parts of your body, balls
Mhm.
being one of them. So now I didn't figure this out. I waited till my 50th birthday, which is a few months back. I waited to see if I could stretch my testicle skin up to my mouth without bending down. Like just sitting straight.
Just pull it up. And?
Just hang on to it. Snap and let it go back down.
How'd it
Yeah,
go?
I do it all. That's what I've been doing all quarantine.
That's great. That's why we don't do shows every week, because Todd's busy pulling on his ball sack.
Busy cleaning up the blood from my balls. So how are you, Dan?
Honest answer or like fun, jovial radio answer?
Whatever you feel. Both. Like, give me the honest answer first, and then we'll make fun of
All
it.
right.
How's that?
I will say that I am just coming out of a deep, deep depression. This has maybe been the worst 6 months of my life for many, many, many reasons. So many factors. I'm not a depressed guy, but it's not great. I'm happy to be doing this.
You're really not. You're not. I'm saying, like, you're not
Oh.
one of those guys that sinks into depression. I do. I just came out of one too. Like this weekend. Like,
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah. I was just like, no one could reach me. I got a whole speech last night from a couple of people. How when you're dark, man, just no one can reach. I'm like, yeah, I can't reach myself. That's what it is. But you're not one of those guys. You don't seem to be a depressive type of guy.
I'm not. And when I am in it, I just kind of lean into it. I deal with it. I take it.
Right.
I allow myself to be it for as long as I want to be. I'm not like, I don't ask myself like, oh, why me? Why is this happening? I'm just like, okay, it's how it is right now. Learn from it, deal with it, figure out what's doing it and try to help it. But I don't like panic about it. But it's been rough. And everyone, like my wife is always asking, what can I do for you? And I'm just like, nothing.
Shut the fuck up, you cunt.
Divorce me? Leave? Can you leave?
No, I get like that all the time. I do. That's how I get in my depressions. I'm like, you should just fucking go. This is not gonna end up I'm so over dramatic.
That's addict talk too.
Yeah, 100%. In fact, in being completely forthcoming with this whole thing, that's exactly one of my go-tos is, look, it's just addict shit going on. Like, it'll pass. You know what I mean? But yeah, anything I say in the next 24 to 48 hour period is going to be based on no self-worth, no self-confidence, painted into a corner that I cannot get out of.
I love you. Just leave me here. Just leave me here.
Yeah, 100% martyr.
You and the kids are better off without me. Just leave me here. No, I have, that obviously with what's happening in the world, it's tough to deal with. I miss people. I miss friends. I miss all that stuff. I'm having family issues back east, wondering, I don't see myself being on tour for another year. Just everything's weird. Everything's weird, but it's getting a little bit better. And like I said, I'm happy to be doing this with you. It helps.
Yeah, cool. I'm having issues with people back east right now too. And I got a call from my mother, like right before we went on.
I'm sorry.
And do you know what she said?
No.
And neither do I, because I just deleted. I just hit the send to voicemail because I can't deal. Sorry, Ma.
What age is it where we have to be in a certain mindset to talk to our parents?
When you're 3.
Oh, no. Mine happened later in life where I had to take some breaths before I do some family talk sometimes.
Mine, I was taking breaths when I was a child. Like, fuck,
okay.
I gotta talk. I knew how bad it was going to be for the rest of my life.
Okay, now ask me again how I'm doing.
Okay, how you doing?
Really fucking good.
Cool, man.
Like things are. I
a lot of work done. A lot of work done. Shit around the house. Shit around the house that I haven't been able to get to.
Yep, learning a lot about myself. I feel like I'm just
the fuck up.
Spreading my wings and soaring lately is what I'm doing. It's really nice.
So I see that you are wearing a very special shirt. Do you want to explain?
Yeah. This is the shirt that the people have been asking for.
That is the exclusive. Now, I'm pretty sure you're the first one. That's the number one, right?
This is numero uno.
So Dan is sporting the first edition of the Rare Form Radio shirt, the Steve Isaacs logo.
The official zipper lip logo. You got one here. I'll give it to you.
Okay, cool. You thank you for that. You remember that, I forget who it was that sent in the lipless version. Yeah. We got to get just only one. You're the only one that can wear it.
Oh, I don't know, because it's funny that people have been asking about this shirt, and because we posted it on the Instagram and Twitter and everything, and it's for sale now, rareformradio.threadless.com, and people are asking, those are definitely Todd's lips, or it's definitely Todd's picture because it has lips on it. So we're gonna do a lipless Dan variant.
So a Todd version and a Dan version.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you, do you think that this is a tea bag or a tampon?
Man.
Or is it tampon flavored tea?
Well, I was gonna say for you it might be both. I think it's a tea bag. It's a tea bag.
It is a tea bag, but what you could do is you could do this and make it into a mini tampon.
Yeah, you could, for a very shallow puss.
Yeah.
Speaking of vaginas, I have a question for you. I was talking to a very good friend of mine last night, and we're talking about blowjobs and different kinds of, roadhead, which everyone has gotten. You've gotten blowjobs when you're driving a car.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
My buddy.
I've given them too.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Wait, are we on the air?
Wait a minute. That's kind of what I'm saying. My buddy has gone down on a chick who's driving. And
I've done that.
How do you do it?
What do you mean? They open their legs and you just.
But how do you get down there when
If you
there's
know
a
what you're
steering wheel?
doing, if you know what you're doing, Dan.
Hence my problem.
If you ain't got it in the hips, you better have it in the lips.
But literally, how do you get it? How do you get your mouth on it? Do you like? Is your head top of your head down on the seat, or are you up under her
all
ass?
right. Well, first of all, depending upon the car or the setup of the seat and the steering wheel shouldn't be right here, so that there's no room for your head to get in.
Right.
It should be back. Like the steering wheel should be here.
Okay. Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And they can adjust back a little bit as far as they can. You know, when you're in the seat, right, and you're driving, and you're backing, like you start slouching a little, your back might be hurts. You kind of straighten up and push back, even though you're not really moving your physical body back anymore, but your body is moving back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, all right. So with that help, you should have enough. I mean, unless you got a huge fucking head. You know,
Well, I got a lot of brains, so
yeah.
I'm good.
I was gonna say, does your asshole ever get jealous of all the shit that comes out of your mouth?
No.
Anyway, all right, go ahead.
I was just wondering, like, because there's no way someone could eat my ass while I'm driving, and I feel like it's a similar situation.
But no, it's not. Your ass is in a whole different geographic location than a vagina.
Not really. I mean,
first of all, how do you know?
What?
I'm saying, how do you know? Because like you don't have one. Like, you know.
Well,
what I
you're
mean?
telling me. How do you know, motherfucker?
Because I've done it before, so I know that it's in a different location.
Listen,
your ass is
when you're lots sitting, of times.
When you're sitting, or when a woman is sitting, or a man, your ass, your hole is at this trajectory.
Yeah, right.
You know,
right.
Going backwards, going down and to the back.
So, yeah. Okay.
Okay, and this is in the front. I get that it's facing down, but realistically, it's in the front of your body. All right, so put it like this. Person standing up, straight up, man, woman, doesn't matter, right? The genitalia is in the front. You can see it if they're naked standing. You can see it, right?
You can't see the pussy hole.
Yeah, but if they went like this, you probably could. I mean, I get that it's facing at a downward slope. Not a crack about my wife.
Don't bring your wife into this, dude. That's not cool.
I beat you to it.
I know you do.
So, and you can't see asshole at all when a person's standing naked right in front of you. It's impossible to see it unless you're a medical marvel, correct?
Or have no ass cheeks.
But even if you had no ass cheeks, that's behind you. You wouldn't see if you had no torso.
From the front.
If you had no torso whatsoever, and no vagina and no pelvic bone, then you could see the asshole from the inside look. No, but when a person is naked standing in front of you, you could see the genitalia, male or female, but you can't see the asshole at all. Right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So that proves that they're in different places. Now, when you sit down, I get you. It's like one of those things where, you know, when you move a little picture and it's like a little donkey kicking back, like, and you move it, it's like standing and then it kicks. Right. I get how you could be fooled in that way of an illusion to think that they're in the same place when they're sitting down, but they're not. This is still in the back and this is still in the front. So with that being said, you get to the space between the steering wheel and the legs are open and it's like this. So say this is the person's front. The woman's torso is right here, right?
Right.
So you can kind of get and then you're right there. It's right there.
Wait a minute. Is the top of your head on the seat?
You're like this.
What?
No, you're in between their legs.
How if they
spread their legs open?
Maybe if they don't have a right leg, I can see how it's possible.
There's also you're putting gas and brake with your right foot, right? When you're driving.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's also getting one leg up like this, like
Totally.
on
That's
the
my that was
rudder-
my
the
next
running
question.
board or whatever on the inside on the door,
Mhm.
and then it's wide open.
But you still have to like get like
Yeah, I'm not saying it's fucking hey, just It's not like that. It takes a little bit of finessing,
how many
but it
times
can
have
be
you
easily done.
how many times have you gone down on a woman when she's driving?
Just a couple, like
More than
college
once.
days. Yeah, college
Wow.
girlfriend. Like when I used to drive a lot more, like in
Right.
a car to go somewhere on a highway, or you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Not
we
just
most of us call that driving.
no, but I'm saying if you're in like just local streets, you just pull over and do what you got to do in a dark spot.
Right.
But
right.
if you're road head both ways,
Mhm.
signifies that you're on a trip of some sort, that
Mhm.
it's not really conducive to just pull over, and it's kind of fun and dangerous to be driving at the same speed and possibly murdering other people to satisfy your own sexual appetite.
But if you haven't had a blowjob, it's worth it.
In general,
Yes.
just if you haven't had a blowjob ever in your life,
That's what I
it's
mean.
worth it.
Right. No, I mean, they're so good where if someone dies, it might be worth the risk.
Yeah, they are good.
Yep.
But I've had bad ones.
I've had bad ones where it hurt my dick because the girl was holding it so hard,
Right.
but it was still better than me doing it myself.
No, I've had ones that I was like, I would be better off jerking off right now. Like,
did you stop it?
Well, not like, hey, fucking stop that, but more like, okay, let's do something else. Like, finesse into another move, because I'm like, you're just wasting your fucking both of our time right now.
Hey, this is cool, but you want to read Mad Magazine or something?
Here's the worst,
okay,
in my experience, is when you're doing something and you could tell that they don't want to do it.
It's the worst.
It is the worst. Like I'm certainly not a come on, do it guy. Like I'm just not that way in pretty much any area of my life, but especially with that. And when you're in a situation where that they think that that's what you want and they're doing it begrudgingly, is the most awful, worst feeling and totally against the point of the whole thing.
It's a turn off, and it makes somehow me feel dirty. It makes me feel like
makes
an
me
asshole.
feel bad. Like, why do you think that I would want you to do something that you obviously do not want to do? Like, no, don't do it then.
Yeah.
I'd rather you just fucking whatever. Do whatever you want. Leave if you want. I don't care.
Right. But whatever
I'm cool
you're doing,
with it all.
You need to be genuinely enthusiastic.
Yes.
Or just like not turned off in your heart. Because you can tell. You can tell, and it's not good.
Yeah. And right away, like there are the enthusiastic ones that will tell you, I have to suck your dick right now. Like, I'm like, okay.
But then there's ones where like she's holding it like this, she's like, and then la la.
Or this is even worse. They want to be doing it, but they're disappointed. Like they just give you.
I don't even have to open my mouth for this one. Blow you with my mouth closed.
They start like this.
Oh. Thank you for listening to Rare Form Radio.
This will be our last show.
Brought to you by our sponsor, the Catholic Church. Mary Kay Letourneau died. You know that?
Yeah, I did not know that until you told me right before we went on the air. So explain what happened, because was it like a...
I actually don't know how she died. I'm just sad because it's like every young boy's fantasy to bang your teacher. So she famously, what was he in 7th grade or something when she fucked him?
Yeah, I'm gonna look right now.
Yeah, okay.
She died of cancer, 58 years old, Seattle teacher. Torno raped, 2nd-degree rape of a child. She got out of prison. I'm trying to find out. Attorney speaking. Laterno. All right. She was 13. So yeah, like 7th grade.
So fucking hot.
She first, according to Laterno, so this is her speaking. According to her, she first raped Fualau, I can't pronounce the name, the summer after he graduated from her 6th grade class when she was 34 and he was 13. When the sexual relationship started, it seemed natural, Laterno said. Should I have known better? I should have. A joint statement by the both, issued by both Laterno and Fualau family said Laterno had been battling cancer. So I'm thinking they were still really into each other after this thing happened.
Well, they got married. They got married. Yeah.
It also says according to Laterno, the one regret that she had by her actions, i.e. going into prison, was he never got a chance to eat her out while she was driving.
Well done. It's funny because like we literally were just talking about that, and the fact that was in the article is crazy.
Yeah, and like I said, I had no idea. So
wow, what a small world. Rest in peace. That's the
one thing. That's what prison will do to you.
Mm-hmm.
Can't experience those kind of things out on the open road.
Nope, it's true. That is true. Did you have a teacher in school that you were particularly fond of?
Yeah, I had. In each school that I went to, 3. I mean, in grade school, elementary, junior high school. Did you guys call it junior high school or middle school where you went?
Junior high.
Yeah, junior high. That's us too. So, in grade school, junior high school, and high school, each 3 of those separate buildings, there was always a teacher that I would even fuck now.
Oh, sure.
Just to say that I did, because it was so interwoven in the fiber and the fabric of my childhood.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Mr. Wright was just so handsome. No, mine was Miss Kelly, and she was a science teacher. And she was, we were like, I don't know, 14, 15. So she was probably in her 30s, curly hair. And she always wore like open kind of unbuttoned shirts. And she would always lean down to help with your homework and help with whatever.
Yeah.
Like she knew what she was doing.
See, I know we've talked about this many times before, even on Dark Matter, but like that's what I feel that like my children and even generations right before them missed out on. Because when I was a kid, we didn't have the internet at all, so there was no internet porn.
Same.
Even hardcore magazines, like they're not like they are today, and they were around, but they were really hard to come by. So the simple whiff of a nipple poking out of a bra in an unbuttoned shirt from an adult teacher or something was like you could live off that for a year of sexual that sexual information toiling back and forth in your head. And I just don't think kids need that anymore. The joy of not even seeing anything, but just imagining you saw one layer in,
like, it's right there.
Her bra is right there, like her bra, and under there is a nipple just waiting to squirt in my face.
Attached to an entire tit.
And that entire tit is attached to a torso that has a vagina that Dan doesn't understand is in the front and an asshole that's in the back.
Up until we talked, I thought it was the same hole. I didn't know it was different. So like,
my children were born out of my wife's ass.
Dude, I have a friend, and I told her once that we're in our 20s, so we're old enough. I told her that Irish kids are born out of their mother's asses, and that's what freckles are. And that's why freckles are remnants of shit that stayed in their skin. Mm-hmm. And she didn't believe it, but she didn't totally disbelieve it, which is what makes it so funny.
Like, she went home and asked a few other people.
Like her response was, she goes, "That's dumb." She goes, I think I would have heard about that, which to me told me that she doesn't totally disbelieve it.
She's giving it some merit.
Yeah, she's like, I would have heard about it. And then this same girl, I told her once that I was living in Venice, which is like on the beach out here, and there's a lot of homeless people in Venice. And I told her that there's a thing going around called bum urine that you catch from homeless people, and it makes you pee out of your ass. So you need to stay away from the homeless people in Venice. And she did. And one time we were at the mall, and she was going to go try on some clothes. And she's like, I'm not going to try them on, though. I was like, why? You got to know if they're going to fit. And she goes, well, I don't want to go in there just on account of the bum urine. I don't know if someone has worn these clothes before me.
And did you look at her and be like, I can't believe how fucking dumb you are?
I did, but I kept it to myself because it went on for years. Like, she brought up bum urine for years. And we had like a little group of people who I prepped ahead of time and said, if this person brings up the bum urine, tell them you saw it on the news. And she just missed the story on the news 5 minutes ago.
We should start a punk band called Bum Urine.
Bum urine, dude. Well, we have a guest coming up in a week or two who is a musician. Maybe he wants to be in our band.
That's right.
Singer, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, for sure.
Right up his alley.
He would bring merit to it for sure.
Absolutely. So you were talking about the as a kid, like catching the glimpse of the nipple or like a butt crack.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I had that same thing, and I think it still gets me to this day. Like I still, because I learned it so much as a kid to hold on to it. So even in public now, if I see nipples through a shirt, I'm like, oh, Jesus, look at that. It's right there.
Yeah. Catalog that one for later tonight.
Yes, ladies, we are disgusting creatures. Dude.
Yeah, that's all it takes.
We're looking all the time.
Takes. Mm-hmm. But, and also, I mean, maybe this is not true. I mean, in the 70s when I was a little kid, and in the 80s when I started growing up more, but I guess scantily clad meant a different thing. It's like 70s clothing was very open and short shorts and all that kind of stuff. But even that has changed because kids nowadays, like the shit that they wear, I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. I go to pick up the kids at school and I'm like, oh man, I feel bad just looking at like, oh, don't.
Who are all these 12-year-old whores?
Yeah, basically.
I don't
know if that's just us being older or if that's actually a thing, but
does your daughter want to wear makeup and stuff yet, or does she wear it to school and everything?
No, that's not allowed. One, okay. I won't allow it, and two, the school wouldn't allow it necessarily either. At least where she went to, not at her age, but yeah, she does, and her and her friends play like on FaceTime, and they have. But sometimes it's like it looks cool, like they do cool shit to dress up. Mm-hmm. But just a little foundation or lipstick, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You know? Like, what the fuck are you doing? No.
Learning lessons. I remember when girls first started wearing makeup to school and they all looked like the Joker. Like no one knew how to do it right. Like there was no subtlety in it.
I'm so much more of to me, makeup is falsifying documents. You know what I mean?
Yes.
A little, look, I could tell from this light in here, I'm a little shiny. I wouldn't mind a little foundation myself right now. I get the need for little covers here and there, but when makeup is just too put on, the person doesn't look like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that they don't look like that. So for me, it's like that information bleeds through to, I don't find it attractive when there's too much makeup because
it's like when people, sorry, go ahead.
It just doesn't seem real to me. It's like, you don't look real, you know?
When people overuse that smoothing app on Instagram or whatever, not everyone, a lot of people use it a little bit. There's a way to use it where you find the fine line of like, okay, let's fill in a couple holes, but let's not make me look like I'm made of plastic.
There's times I've posted that like when it was first a new thing, but I say like filter the fuck out of it, like just because it looks so weirdly ridiculous.
Right.
But yeah, there's a way to. I could use a little fine tuning right now.
I think you look all right. The hair's looking good.
I got a cut. I shouldn't have. It was getting so long.
Todd.
I
You
had the
went
person
to
come here.
you,
No, I
okay,
had the person come here.
you do it outside
my-
or inside?
Outside with masks on.
Okay.
But I did eat her out while she was driving.
That's it's very COVID.
While she was driving away too, which is way harder than just doing it inside the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
Hanging from the door.
I'm
flapping in the
not
wind.
done yet.
My legs were dragging on the concrete.
You have any COVID news? Any COVID thoughts?
Yeah, I realized this because I kind of really cut back on watching the news. Like after the whole looting, protesting thing, I was just like, I can't watch the news anymore. So I kind of stopped watching news for a couple weeks. And I've come to the realization that when you stop watching the news, you start to realize there's no such thing as coronavirus. It's all bullshit. It's just like I'm just living my life normal now. I walk around. I'm like, hey, how you doing? I just don't believe. I don't think it's real anymore because I'm not inundated with the news. I just am like, what are you talking about? What virus?
You've always been a firm believer in out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, exactly. So to me, if I don't hear the word or see the newscasts, it just doesn't exist.
See, that's I've been thinking to myself, and it's not really being talked about, but if we did less testing, there'd be less cases.
There you go.
I wish our leader would take up this way of thinking.
Yeah.
If you don't test, it won't be there. So
exactly, just
that's
don't
why
test.
That's why my wife has never taken a pregnancy test.
I'm really starting to turn around and really see the logic here now. Once you turn that corner and take a break from these 24-hour news cycle and social media. By the way, another reason why I'm also like, I don't think it exists anymore. I don't think many things exist anymore. I dumped my Facebook and my Twitter.
I saw that.
I just dumped them. I was like, not for any statement, not because I'm taking a stand. I was just like, I spend too much time hitting this fucking app. Even if I have nothing to say or whatever, I'm just bored, doing something, waiting for a phone call, click it open. It's just automatic. And I got to the point where even people that I agree with posting shit on Facebook, like whether it be politically or religiously or spiritually or whatever, you think thoughts that are like-minded of mine, I just started getting so resentful and being like, shut the fuck up. Like, who cares what you fucking think? The whole world is in the crisis that it's in because too many people think they have a right to have a voice. And there should be a few people that speak for many of us. Back in the day, there were great people that spoke, that were the voice. Martin Luther King, Robert Kennedy. Now everybody fucking thinks I'm just as important. Politics, Trump, Joe Biden, blah, blah. And I'm just like, even if I agree with you, just shut the fuck up. So I was like, I can't shut these fucking people up. And even I tried I'll just unfollow or mute people that I'm not into. Even still shit pops up and I'm just like, you know what? I'll keep it to Instagram. Anybody can find me there. My thing is public. Anybody can direct message me. I get a picture and a little comment. Hey, look at this fucking sunset. Look at my dog or whatever. And I'm not as bothered by it. And so I dumped them, and I got to admit, I deleted every game off of my phone. I deleted my Facebook, deleted the app to it also. Like, didn't just put it on hold, like straight up. No, cancel, erase all data, get me out of here. Cancel, deleted my Twitter, deleted my Facebook, dumped all the games off my phone. And I don't miss it. I really don't. So, if you want to fucking, like, first of all, anything that's pretty much going on in the news, I can look up, as far as Googling, or I have the New York Times app still, or the Washington Post. Like, I fucking have those. and you would be amazed at the shit that goes on Facebook or Twitter that people will just text you anyway. Did you see what so-and-so said? Did you see this article on da-da-da-da? So I just get it from them anyway. You know what I mean? So yeah. I'm
Self-preservation.
done. Yeah, I'm just done. I'm like,
Yep.
I
got to know.
is good enough.
What games did Todd Newman have on his phone?
I
just can't see you being like, I can't talk right now. I'm playing Uno on my phone.
No, I don't have Uno. I had Scrabble.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, Uno. I had Scrabble.
Okay.
I've had many games over the years that I've just deleted over, like, I'm done with this game or whatever. But the games that were standards on my phone were Scrabble, Backgammon, because it's like my favorite game to play. Like, pull out the backgammon set and let's fucking play for 8 hours.
You a cribbage guy?
No.
Okay.
I don't like the word crib being in any game that I play. I feel too childish.
Okay. All right. That's deep. It says a lot.
And it sounds too much like cabbage, and I don't like anything connotating Irish people.
I have some bad news for you.
No, so I had Scrabble, I had Backgammon, and I
Angry
had
Birds?
I did in the beginning when it was like a thing, and then I quickly blew through the whole thing. I was like, I'm done with that.
I love Angry Birds.
And the only other game that I had was Rummy Cube, which is like a mathematical tile game. Okay. And I used to play that when I was a kid, the actual board version of it. And I had FIFA, the soccer game, for a long time. And that was cool but that, again, I had to delete it because it gets too involved. Like, you can manage a team and trade players and finances and get sponsors and upgrade and train players so that their status gets better. And like, you'd notice it in the game and learn more. And I just was like, it's too all consuming.
I really wish you made your own character called the Madman Newman. If you didn't, you failed. I've been playing so much Grand Theft Auto. Yep.
Do you know I've never played Grand Theft Auto in my life?
I realized
Not once.
I realized yesterday that I've been playing for like 3 or 4 months with my best friend from childhood, and like we have the headsets and we like do all this shit together and heist. It's so dumb, but it's distracting from everything else going on. So it's really been great.
When you suck each other's dicks, who comes first?
Dude, he's the one that went down on the girl, and I was like, what? How? But I realized that Grand Theft Auto is just The Sims for adult men who are into violence. Like, you make your own character, you buy an apartment, you live in it, you drive a car around, you meet up and you talk to other people and you like go shopping for ammunition. I mean, you're basically, it's The Sims for degenerate, irresponsible,
like yourself,
immature grown men like me. Yeah.
I have never played it once.
Oh, it's so satisfying.
I got out of gaming. The last game that I was into that I played, like getting high and playing games all night mode, was like Mario Brothers and Tecmo Bowl on the Nintendo system. And after that, like I would think I'm a loser. I just smoked like an ounce of weed for 10 hours straight and just played video games and shirked every responsibility in my life. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. So I just quit playing games.
It's funny because I call that time well spent. And I love it.
I guess it is a matter of perception.
And I also have nothing else to do right now. So who cares?
I got too much shit. That's the thing is like I've been playing this game. Like I've been in the bathroom. Why I was in the bathroom took 8 seconds to do. And now I'm in here for an hour because I'm just sitting here because it's the only place fucking quiet in my house playing on my phone. I'm like, I can't do it. So I delete it. I get these fucking things out of here.
Fair enough.
And I have been occupying my time a lot in the house, and I have kids, and obviously obvious reasons of why my time isn't as free to do just nothing. But
Yeah, if you were playing 3 or 4 hours of Grand Theft Auto every night while your kids are starving to death, you'd probably be a bad dad.
yeah. They'll do that. My kids can do that. They'll, but they're kids. Like,
Of course.
I've woken up at like 3 a.m. and seen the light on in one of the rooms. I go in, I'm like, "Are you fucking crazy?" And they're just like,
Oh yeah.
my daughter does this thing where she holds the phone or the iPad with her feet.
Oh my God.
And just is like laying back, and I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
It's like a weird animal, like a sloth or some kind of
And my
chimp.
son, he's got like the whole fucking setup and the thing, and and they go nuts. And now he wants me to spend like $800 on this gaming chair, and I'm like, "Yeah, if you blow me while we're driving on the highway, I'll give it to you."
Listen, it's illegal if he blows you. Have him blow me because that's on the up and up. And I'll pay.
You gotta pay for you gotta pay for the chair.
I'll pay for it. Oh, gross. Is it one of those like it's fully electronic chair? It's all like powered.
Yeah,
and everything?
I mean, he doesn't have it.
He will,
but he showed me the picture of it. I'm like, you can spend your own money on it.
He's gonna have it within a month. I guarantee it. What's the day today? The 8th.
His
Kid's got a better guitar collection than Navarro does.
I know he does. Well, that's also Dave's fault too.
True.
Dave styled him out with a lot of it. But today, Dave bought my son a nice amp. Did you see the amp, Dan?
No.
All right, so he bought him this Marshall DSL $700 amp type of thing. And he's only had it for a couple of months. And the thing just breaks. Like, you shut the volume all the way down and the sound's still bleeding through, and the reverb button doesn't work anymore, and the resonance button. So I brought it back. It's under warranty, no problem. But the problem is the Marshall company, which is, I guess, located in the UK.
Yep.
They're like, we're not shipping anything. So, I brought it back. And because Dave got it, they remembered at the store, and they wanted to cater to making it right for him, for his
he's
sake.
He's also an endorsee of the company as well.
Yeah. So they were like, well, we'll just give you your money back or take something else, but they have nothing left because the stock is so limited because nothing's getting shipped in, especially to Los Angeles. So I went to another store today, and they didn't have this DSL 20, but they had the DSL 40, which is like twice
as good.
And twice as good. So, and I was by myself, like just trying to get it fit, like I took it to a place that they recommended. If you want to try and get it fixed, go to this little mom and pop shop. All the musicians go there in Los Angeles, and they're cool. And they called and they were like, it needs a part. We know what's wrong with it, but they're not going to send that part for a while. So I'm like, all right, I'll just return that one and I'll get it from another place. And they only had a doubly good version. So I just bought him a brand new, like, it's fucking huge.
Dude,
Here's the thing. I invest in that because I'd rather him sit there and toy with that fucking thing all day than sit in a gaming chair with a fucking thing talking to some other jerk offs who are like, because I could hear his conversations through the vent in the room, like, and like the shit they're talking to each other too, like, you fucking retarded cocksucker, why'd you kill me? Like,
just like their dad.
Yeah,
of course.
But I'd rather him do that. So he's got a brand new. You might want to come over and jam with it because it's awesome.
I would be down, and you're right. Except kids nowadays, he could make a fortune being a gamer. Like he could literally make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Believe me, he knows that too, and he brings it up also. Like, I could fucking make money this way. And I'm like, you want to be smart? And I told him, especially the school that he goes to, because they offer all kinds of shit. I'm like, take coding. Like, you want to be smart, make the game that the kids all play. Don't just play the games. The guy from Minecraft, he's a fucking billionaire. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to push that on him.
It's a valid point. Oh my God. You're talking about like hearing him talk. Dude, a few weeks ago, I got so embarrassed. First of all, I don't really feel great, being an older dude playing video games a lot. But again, I don't have a lot of guilt, but I could be doing better things with my time. So I'm on the headset with my buddy, and in Grand Theft Auto, the way you refill your health is you have to like eat snacks. So she's in another room hearing me talk to him. I'm like, okay,
Are the snacks dicks?
No, Todd.
Okay,
They're not. They're not. This is a video game. So I don't realize she's in the other room, and I'm talking to him like, okay, before I get in the bank, make sure you get all the ammo. Let's load up on snacks. We got to eat our snacks before we go in. And she walks in, and she's watching me for a couple minutes, and I don't know she's looking at me, and I'm talking about snacks and like, let's get on the Oppressor Mark II, and we'll fly over, take the snacks, then we'll go to the bank. I look over, and she's just staring at me, just like, I've never been less attracted to you in my life.
I married a moron.
Yes, that's how I felt. When we were going earlier.
An actual imbecile.
Yes.
Like that word.
About being depressed about like, just leave me here. You're better off without me. That's how I felt at that moment. I was like,
and you're right.
I've let you down as a mate. I'm supposed to be this like protector and somewhat masculine, and I'm here talking about eating snacks on a virtual game with my childhood friend.
Not even actual snacks.
No, like cyber snacks. It was really awful.
Funny.
And it made me really rethink like a lot of decisions that I've made.
My wife will do that though, like in bed at night. There's this little game that she plays because
called Tinder.
Yeah, I'm not taking away from her at all in the sense that she fucking works her ass off and is like in charge of major fucking making moves.
She's a powerful woman.
Yes, but she likes to she's like, it's the one thing that gets my mind off of everything that's going on, and family and work and this and that. So she zones in. But there'll be times I'm talking to her, I'll ask her a question, and she's just like, it's this game where she serves food. Like it's like a food game, like where you got to make stuff and customers come in, but it's really fast paced. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but I'll like look at her and she'll be like hyper focused, and I'm like, and I'll just start talking shit, like, you know that your mother's a fucking cunt, right? Like, just and she'll be like, yeah.
Sometimes
I just don't get it.
You got to record it and see. I want to see this reaction.
Yeah, I will.
It is amazing. Like when people are playing games, they're in a different world. Or like when people are skimming through Instagram, they're just like your ears and your brain turn off from people around you.
That's exactly the nail on the head of why I dumped Twitter and Facebook, is because it puts me into a different world, and it's weird because it is a world based in a reality, because this is people talking and operating and whatever, but it's not reality. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So any information I need to live or survive or thrive or fucking love my loved ones is not going to be on there. I've seen every person that I wanted to see what they looked like older, like from high school, or I've done all of that via Facebook, which was 85% of my friend list probably is people from my past that I never communicated with. I just either got a request and accepted it or put one out because I know them from many moons ago type thing. And I kind of just wanted to like, oh, that fucking guy, he went bald and he got fat, or, oh, so-and-so still looks fucking, oh, they didn't look like that then. They aged great, like both ways. Like curiosity, and that curiosity has been quenched tenfold. I don't need to know what another person from my past is up to. So
yeah, I get it.
So I
get it. I understand it. No regrets.
Dumped it like an unwanted fetus.
Cool. It's really cool. You want to do a couple questions?
Yeah, sure.
All right. got here? Ugh. I don't want to see that. I don't know what this is. Oh.
Good question. It might be a little bit personal, or I don't know, maybe asking too much. I just kind of want to know why Lisa is no longer a co-host of Reform Radio, why she only stayed for a little while. From the outside, it looked like something kind of happened between her and Todd, or they didn't get along. And I guess I'm just being nosy and just wondering what happened there. Personally, I really like the energy that Todd and Dan with Frank all bring to the show, and didn't enjoy it as much when Lisa was a part of the show. So I'm probably saying too much, but anyway, really enjoying the show. Have fun. See ya. Bye.
For a second, I thought maybe that was Lisa disguising her voice until the last part of the message. I was like, oh, it's not her.
Oh, shit.
You can answer that.
I mean, we both can, but I think we had good shows with Lisa, but creatively,
I agree.
Yeah, creatively, I think just Todd and I had been talking about this show for probably a year or so before it actually happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And we kind of had plans of the way we wanted to build it and the kind of stuff we wanted to do. And Lisa was very funny. She's smart. She's talented. And
100%.
She came in and she had a bunch of her own ideas and ways she wanted to take the show and things she wanted to do, which were all valid ideas and things she wanted to throw together. It just didn't totally line up with what we had in mind. And the three of us had a few talks about it, and we all decided mutually that you and I wanted different things out of it than she did. And there was no hard feelings. And she has been someone who has fronted her own bands for a bunch of years. She's been a successful actress. She's done a lot of stuff, started her own things. So I think for her, it was hard to be a part of something where she wasn't the straight up decision maker. Right. And understandable. So we separated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good job, Dan.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Todd. And Todd and Lisa hated each other. Steve writes in, question for the next show. I read about the Golden State Killer confessing to 13 murders alongside numerous rapes in order to spare him the death penalty. Do each of you have a favorite serial killer, or if that's not the right word, a serial killer who fascinates you the most, and why? What is it about serial killers that is so fascinating and morbidly interesting to people?
I'll let you start because I think you have more. I have a fascination more with cult stuff, whereas I think you have more of a fascination with serial killers.
Yeah.
If that makes, I mean, I know that's very generalizing, but.
Oh, fuck. Yeah. I think I definitely like serial killers more than the culty things. It's just so sinister and scary, and the mindset of like a John Wayne Gacy is one of my favorite, most interesting serial killers. The guy who dresses like a clown, performs at kids' birthday parties, and ends up like collecting and raping and killing a bunch of like little boys and burying them all under his house. He had like 20, 30, 40 kids under his house, and just the disconnect of that person to real life. And then I get caught up in like neighbors didn't know, like we think we know people, but your neighbor could have fucking 20 kids buried in the yard and you just don't know. So I'm fascinated by the societal aspect of like, how did you get to that point? Like what happened to John Wayne Gacy as a kid? Where did the spark happen? Because a turn happened somewhere. I don't know.
Right. So or do you believe like that there's brain malfunction too? You know what I mean? Like I think that that's the case with some of these guys where it's just like this from day one, from birth, the synapses were not firing. And I get that you maybe need a catalyst to make that spark catch to a flame.
Mm-hmm.
But, kids that are little kids that are killing animals and torturing things, like, I don't know, it's some brain misfire, some synapses misfiring or something too. That part is fascinating to me too. Here's the thing, and I got to be very careful how I word this, because to me, cults are sexier because it's about mind control and stuff like that, and devout giving your control to a cause or another person, a cult leader. The Manson family, that cult dynamic is probably my favorite and one that I know most about and have seen every fucking special that there is, but also because the victims involved too had something to do with it. Sharon Tate and famous people, and in Hollywood, and it was he wanted to be a musician in the 60s.
Perfect storm.
It's a perfect storm, exactly. So, but to me, there's like, I don't know, there's a weird sexiness. Maybe that's the wrong word to use, but it's the only one I can come up with now that I find
it's more juicy.
Yeah, there's a juiciness to it that I find more palpable as a a perverted viewer of than serial killers, where there is the fear and all those things, which is probably what you like about horror more than I do. Like, I like horror movies too, but you're a horror buff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And serial killers too, especially the John Wayne Gacy thing, for me, all that shit changed when I became a father. Like, my perception definitely skewed, because I think about the terror that children must have gone through, while that I can't get away from that to get into the fascination so much.
Yeah.
Like Jeffrey Dahmer eating his victims, and his answer was, when they asked him, why did you eat your victims? And he said, because it's the only way I could get feel closer to them, to have them inside of his body. And like, that's just mental derangedness. The Richard Ramirez thing I can get behind, because I also think he's full of shit in a weird way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of that was an act. Don't get me wrong. Victims and families don't come at me. That's not what I'm saying, that he didn't do these things.
What you're saying is the Night Stalker and coronavirus are the same. They both don't exist.
Exactly.
Got you. Okay.
No, the Night Stalker and the persona that he created after the fact, and it was a lot of forced believing in Satan, and and trying to befriend Anton LaVey and all that. Like,
he got wrapped up in his own bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't buy a lot of that kind of shit. Like, you'd be more mysterious if you just shut the fuck up and look the way you look, because he looked crazy. Like, he had an insane look. So yeah, that's my long answer.
Fair, cool, that works. I was really into the Heaven's Gate cult. I really liked that one.
The Heaven's Gate cult was just funny to me, almost. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that
just
leader, Marshall Applewhite.
Yeah, it was almost like so weird that it had a comical vibe to me.
Nikes and the fact that all the men were castrated for some reason.
Yeah,
and they were waiting for the Hale-Bopp comet to hop on a UFO to go to it. It's like,
it's
guys,
so bizarre.
Pick a theme and stay with it, guys.
The Jim Jones thing too, I'm fascinated.
Oh, sure.
With. Like, I've watched there's been, in the last 2, 3, 4 years, there's been some great, more in-depth documentaries about that.
Which, if you don't know, is Jonestown, which was in Africa.
Yeah, the Jonestown massacre. Yeah, that one. That one is like the cult of all cults. It's got all the elements going there. So
let me see what else we got here.
What else we got?
Hello, gentlemen. How are you all doing? It's been a few years since I spoke to you last. I was just wondering what you make of the current situation with many comedy shows being canned, or many classic comedy shows being canned due to the outrage surrounding the Black Lives Matter situation. And a big shout out to Riley. I finally got to read your book, and it's a brilliant read. Recommend it to anyone. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a good one.
Yeah, by the way, we got a lot of good feedback on Riley Perez's last interview with
great.
us. I disagree with a lot of stuff he said, but he spoke from a totally different place than a lot of people would expect someone like him to come from.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Yeah.
Sure,
Thoughts on the question? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. Fucking cancel all this shit. Like anything that has any touch or modicum of truth and comedy should be yanked immediately.
Hear, hear. Yep, hear, hear.
Look, I mean, how long do we have? You know, like that's that kind of question, because I completely disagree with pulling anything, even something that's like made in the early 1900s that's completely vile and disgusting and racist, purposely so. You have to leave those things out here. You can't eradicate and erase the history, or you're doomed to repeat it anyway. Like, you know, that's a basic standard. You learn that in grade school. Those who fail to recognize history are doomed to repeat it, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, how you going to see where we're at now, how far we've come, if you don't have these comparisons? Now, if you really start yanking everything, like we talked about the Gone with the Wind thing, I think a couple shows back, right? If you start yanking everything that has a modicum of racism in it, or even if it's not racism, but stereotyping, which are two different things, you know, I think, what are you going to have left? The fucking Love Boat, 24 hours on TV. Like, you're not going to have much left, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Take movies in the 80s, you know, even like Trading Places, and, you know, like big, huge hits that will like have blatant racism in them. So are you going to just erase them all, or are you going to leave them to see where we can change, where we can go, what the difference is, how far that we've come? You know, even stuff like, maybe I'll get in trouble for saying this, but even this banning of the Confederate flag, I don't think is a fucking good idea, for this reason only. I get what it represents. I get what the people who fly them think it represents, and I get what the people who are offended by it think it represents. And they're both entitled to those opinions or those feelings. But the way that I see it is the way that the people who are offended kind of see it, more along those lines. And the thing that I'm saying is don't ban those things, because when a guy fucking rolls up on me and there's a big Confederate flag bumper sticker on the back, I know who I'm dealing with now. Don't take away the signifiers of who people are, because you're just going to push them back into the shadows and into the underground, and they're going to be pissed that you've pushed them back, and then it's going to be all secretive, and no one's going to really know who the truth is with who. So I get that it's a bigger conversation than what I'm just saying right now, and there's a lot of sides to it, but like, I would rather see the fucking racists coming down the street, flags and all, so I know who I'm fucking dealing with up front.
You make a good point.
Taking away the statues and pulling them down, sure, I agree with that. You don't want to walk in the South where there's a general that, you know, killed slaves or did whatever they did. Fine, you don't want them there, but don't destroy them. Put them in a museum. In Los Angeles, I'm part Jewish. We have the Holocaust Museum. There's fucking teeth and lampshades in there. Let the history be seen so that you could use it as an educational presentation, instead of, well, let's leave this great symbol up because it's our history. I get it. Like, let's be a little sensitive. I totally am all for that. But let's not erase shit, especially when it comes to like shows getting canceled and everybody apologizing for every fucking shit they took in fucking 1982. Like, guys, okay, we're at a point where everybody wants things to move in a different direction right now. And most of the people that I encounter want it to go in the right direction. But like, if you shoot too high and miss, you're going to create a bigger fucking problem in the end. And erasing history and canceling everything is wrong. You got to go case by case. You know, you can't generalize and blanket the whole thing like, you know, no more stereotypes on TV. There are stereotypes in art because there are stereotypes in life. It's a true thing that we deal with. If you're using it to make a comedic point, like if we lose the ability to laugh at ourselves and our own stereotypes, we're done. And I really do believe that we are done as a human race.
I agree with you. Very well done. Very well said. I agree on the statues. I think the statues should come down out of town squares, and museums is a good place for them. But I think I disagree on the Confederate flag. I say pull them. Let me just pull them down, get rid of them. And I get what you're saying, how you want to see them coming. But I want those people. I do want them in the shadows, and I do want them to feel like they can't speak their mind publicly or show how hateful they want to be, because I don't want it. Like the last few years, it's felt like that racist mentalities and that kind of shit has gotten. It seems like it's more empowered and more allowed to be out in public, which I think might inspire other people to, hey, let's be public too. And then it just becomes a thing. I would rather it be a shameful secret that we don't hear about as much.
But
And
that's
also,
my point.
one more thing.
No, I'm not going to let you talk.
One more thing. That's a very Todd thing to do, but let me finish. It's also just like, I just think we should be more welcoming of people. So if people are moving here and they're black and they see Confederate flags in the South, it's basically being told like, hey, new guy, you're not really welcome here. And I'm not into that.
Right. But okay, I hear what you're saying. But if you're not really welcome here, don't you want to know that information up front, then have it be slipped into the shadows, and then you move and you ingratiate yourself into a community that you think is accepting, and then you realize you're in a world of shit. Like, I hear what you're saying.
I hear what you're saying too.
You're not going to, by taking away the flags, and I don't think that you should not do that. I'm just making a point about,
no, I know. Yep.
When you take them away, be very careful, because now it's harder to spot, and now you are putting them into a side. I don't think that there's shame attached to them if they really are racist. I think now there's even more fuel or gasoline on the anger and the racism. Like, you can't tell me I can't, blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's like, well, we're going to hide in shame because no one likes racist. They're like, fuck you, motherfucker. So there's that side to the psychology of it also. But again, I want to be clear. Now, let me be clear. Now, let's be clear. I'm not saying that you shouldn't ban them. I'm saying I personally would rather see the swastika and see the Confederate flag and see the markings of someone who I might have a problem with up front, so I know how to handle myself, than find out when it's too late. That's my point.
That's true. I mean, again, it's a good point, but we've talked about it before, about how after World War II, the swastika was banned in Germany. And what's good about that, I think, is that kids that grow up in a world where the swastika is banned, you're brought up knowing that thing is a symbol of hate and a symbol of being wrong and literally having a wrong opinion, because it is a wrong opinion. So, but if you see the swastika, you're like, oh, is it bad? Is it good? This guy has it. Why does he have it? But if you grow up knowing that it's wrong and knowing that it's shameful, it might keep people from going down that path, possibly.
Right.
But I mean, obviously they're still going to exist, but.
Well, you can also just teach that.
You can, but if you're teaching that it's wrong, but then your neighbor has it, it's confusing.
Right. And but it's not. If you're doing your job, coming from a parent's point of view, I could tell my children what that symbol is, and the Johnsons next door could have it flying, and they could say, well, I'm confused because they seem like nice people. And I'd be like, well, don't be confused. they're fucking racist pieces of shit. Stay away from them.
Mhm.
But they seem so nice, and they gave me, a baked apple pie, and like that's because they don't know you're half Korean yet.
Right. No,
My
that's good points.
my point is not, again, it's all of this is dicey. I'm coming from a personal point of view. I'm not saying don't ban. I'm saying I personally say don't ban for me personally because I want to see them coming. I
Right.
want to know who's who.
Right.
The swastika is a bad symbol, a symbol of evil. It has become. In fact, it was not a symbol of evil until Hitler made it into one.
Sure.
Made it backwards, and it's an Indian thing for good luck or whatever.
I think it's the rising sun or something.
Yeah, something like that. But so even though it's banned and been good, like if I see someone who has a button on their fucking jacket, even if it's really small, I'm like, all right, I know who I'm fucking dealing with. Someone who has the balls to even do this, knowing that it's a bad thing, you know what I mean? I know who I'm fucking dealing with. And that's
Like
just, again, personal opinion.
It's true. Like if there was like a rapist flag that people flew, you would know like, oh, stay away from that fucking guy. He's a rapist. It's obvious from that flag.
It becomes a scarlet letter. Like why should we get rid of the scarlet letter? You know what I mean? So but with everything else, like I said, monuments, you don't need to vandalize them and tear them down and destroy them. Put them in an educational purpose. Put them in a museum. Put them in, in a place of in public where you can choose to go see them or not and go learn about what their significance in the history of this country was. We're not going to erase the history of this country, and we're not going to erase the culture of all the decades that preceded us. That's just dumb to do that. It's like, if you watch, this is a bad example maybe, but if you watch a World War II era movie, and you don't include the fact that maybe the ranks were segregated, take the movie Glory, which is a great movie with Matthew Broderick and Denzel Washington, and it's about like the first black regiment that went into battle in the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
If you homogenize that whole thing and take it out, and we're showing, African Americans in a bad light in this country, and well, how are we going to know the progress that's being made? If you cancel those kind of things because the N word is in it, whether it's them using it or us using, that kind of thing, how are we going to know where the fuck we're at if you take away all that kind of stuff? Or I heard Hulu pulled an episode of The Golden Girls.
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah, because there was a joke because they were doing mud masks. And one of the characters, Betty White, who's supposed to be her character, she's an airhead.
Yeah.
And she says things that are stupid all the time. And
Rose?
She says,
is that Rose?
Yeah, I think it's Rose. And she says, I saw the clip, and she's like, oh, I didn't want you to think we were black people. And she's making a joke because they have mud masks on and blackface. No, it wasn't blackface. And they were making a joke, and I get it, but God, the Golden Girls, people are threatened by that, of some joke about makeup that, and I get it. Maybe you shouldn't do that now, that you shouldn't write that line or say that line now, maybe.
Or should you?
I think you should. I'll be completely honest.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not meant in that vein. It's not meant to be a put down. It was meant.
Intent is everything.
Yeah. The intention was to say that, their skin was dark. I didn't want you to think we were rapists and criminals and da-da-da-da. That's not what the joke was there.
Right.
And the whole Fallon and Kimmel and making fun of Friends and this and that. And like, I've said it a million times. And even I saw an interview with Jamie Foxx, and he's like, you got to give the fucking comedians some latitude here. You got to give them some space, because it's okay. You know what I mean? To poke fun, even about race. It's okay.
And the argument is that why should comedians be special? And I just think that they should, because it's social commentary, and it's supposed to be a safe spot for anything goes. You swing and miss, and let the audience dictate what's funny or not. That's it.
Look, here's the thing too, is like, and I've said this fucking 1,000 times on this show. Back in the day, in medieval times, even the king understood the need for the court jester, that was the one person who could say anything to the fucking king, berating and belittling and all that, because they understood the need for that in humanity.
Yep.
And it's still just as pertinent today. And if you ask me, not all comedians, some suck. Some aren't funny, some aren't good. But the ones who are on top, who I look at as more of philosophers, more than as comedians almost.
Sure.
That is the one job. Some arts too, music, certain musicians. It's like you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to find the truth about humanity and society more anywhere than in an amazing comedian that understands what they're fucking doing.
Yep.
Dave Chappelle and
fuck yeah.
Even Louis C.K. before
that's the point I was going to bring up. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say that like there's two white comedians. Mm-hmm. Louis C.K. has said the N-word multiple times in his show, in his act, and it's funny. And then you have Michael Richards who says it, and it's not funny, and it's over. Like if you're going to use the word or if you use racist humor, you're rolling the dice, and you may lose your audience, you may build it, but like there's ways to do it and there's ways not to do it. Louis C.K. got it. Michael Richards, not the best way to do it. Yeah. Like if you're dropping the word out of anger, it's very, very clear.
Yeah. And also if you're not really a professional stand-up comedian, just because you were on Seinfeld doesn't give you the right to think you can hold court on a stage like a fucking professional comedian.
And he learned that.
Oh yeah.
So he said it. He said it out of anger, right? He got mad at someone in the crowd.
Yeah, he was talking to oh man, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. The guy who wrote for Richard Pryor, who's been on Chappelle's show.
Charlie Murphy?
No.
Eddie Murphy?
No.
Cillian Murphy?
No.
Dropkick Murphys? Murphy Brown?
Murphy's Oil Soap? Hang on.
While you do that, let everyone know that you can find us on iTunes. Please subscribe. Never miss a show. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, at Rareform Radio. Go to our store, rareformradio.threadless.com. Paul Mooney. Yep.
Yeah. He was saying it to Paul Mooney, who's a comedian and
black guy,
a voice, and has been around forever. And he used to write for Richard Pryor, and he's been around for it all since back in the day. And he was saying it to him. And there was another intention from what I hear from the explanation of it that was actually not just to say it, but it was something between them.
Yeah, and you can't do that if the audience doesn't know.
Right? He didn't find it funny. Paul Mooney didn't find it funny either, but it wasn't just a straight up, I'm a racist and here it is, and N-word. It was like, it was supposed to be something else, and it just fell really wrong.
It's a career ender.
Yeah.
In many ways. All right. Well, I say we wrap this up.
Okay, I'm down with that. Well, thank you for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Todd Newman. I just want to remind you and everybody that at the end of the day, we do this show, and tomorrow is just the future's yesterday, and that's just the way that it is.
I'm going to leave. I have my cursor hovering over the red leave button.
Okay. All right. Keep the questions and comments coming, please, on our Instagram.
Yeah, we love that.
Also, we might have to do a live Zoom show where people can pop in and join the show. Maybe. It's risky.
Sure, risky. I'm game. I mean, we can always, as long as you're the host, you can always nix people like on the spot,
you can.
Right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe we'll do that.
And also, in the meantime, stay safe, Todd.
All right, I'm done.
Bye, everybody.
This is Lola, and I'm here to tell the world to stop being such pussies and listen to Rare Form Radio.